College basketball is in full swing this weekend, and welcome to the main event. And that's exactly what this invitational is called. And when you look at the teams that are playing in this one, the name makes perfect sense. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co host, Steve Feck, and we're going to break down the main event invitational. And we're going to start off with number 16, Virginia, taking on number 5, Baylor. I have watched all the games from these teams, the 2 games from Virginia and the 3 games from Baylor, Steve, and I have loved everything I've seen about both of these teams. This, to me, is the most exciting game that I have looked forward to so far this season. I am really looking forward to this game. We're seeing the Virginia squad who had a rough go last season, made it to the NIT tournament. Awesome, but that's not the standard for UVA. Baylor, on the other hand, I mean, every other year they've won the national championship. We are in that other year category right now, and they are showing every reason they are taking every doubt out of my mind to show me why they can't do that, Steve.
Yeah, when we were doing the preview of Baylor, we were wondering, as we had to do with a lot of teams, UConn on the women's side, are the injuries going to be over? Because they were just devastated with injuries last year. So far, so good for Baylor. And I think this game, in a lot of ways, is the irresistible force, which is Baylor's attack, against the immovable object, which is the way Virginia plays defense. I mean, basically, I think people from the Pentagon should go to West Virginia practices and scrimmages to find out about defense, because nobody does it better than the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
I think Virginia's cannot let Baylor run and gun early. And I think Baylor is going to try to do that. Baylor's going to try to jump out early and have Virginia have to play outside its comfort zone. I don't know that they're going to be successful doing that, but I would say within the first 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to have a pretty good idea. Is it going to be a defensive matchup, or is it going to be run and gun, which would give the advantage to Baylor? I don't know how you feel about that, but
no, I'm with you. I do believe that when you watch Virginia basketball, and if you've seen it in really the last 4 years, you could say they find a way to play their game, their pace. If Baylor can find a way to confuse that and play their game, which is not anywhere close to UVA's slow pace of play, Baylor's can be in great hands. When you look at this team who has 4 players in double digits, and those 4 players are averaging not just double digits, but 15 points or more per game, they are doing a fantastic job in that 3-guard play, like we talked about in one of our recaps, how George is really turning into this superstar in front of our eyes as a freshman. And then you have Cryer and Flanger doing this thing. And then the transfer from West Virginia, Bridges, has been outstanding. I thought he was going to be very good. I didn't think his role was going to be this immense right off the bat. And with that 3 guards of success plus Bridges, and then Famba, who hasn't really stepped up too much yet, but has made enough of a presence to, he doesn't have to step up with the other 4 on the court. Baylor's tough. I mean, when I look at this team, I have a hard time picking against them. But we're looking at this Virginia squad that just plays stellar defense night in and night out. And if anyone can stop a Baylor squad, it's a Tony Bennett team who can play their game and is very good at getting other teams to do just that.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And that's, whenever I watch Virginia play, I get, I'm not misty-eyed, but I get nostalgic, because this was the brand of basketball that I grew up on. Okay. Now, again, we're talking, I grew up, mid to late 60s and all through the 70s was, my prime, if you want to call it a prime. But that's the brand of basketball, both at the professional level and at the college level, that you saw, unless you were an ABA fan. And then you saw things that you never saw before. But in essence, almost all the best things of the ABA are now in the NBA and the college game now. I don't know that I even want to pick a winner on this game, because I just want to enjoy this one. I'm with you. This is going to be one of the more enjoyable games. I think it's going to tell us a lot about Virginia and how they can impose their will come conference play. But if Baylor, cracks the code and could put up a pretty impressive offensive game against a team like Virginia, watch out. I think all of us have to, well, I shouldn't say all of us because you were really high on Baylor at the beginning. I'm going to have to stop and look and say, well, I mean, do I have to start looking at Baylor and not Kansas as the favorite in the Big 12?
Yeah, honestly, that's what I'm thinking right now. I really had high hopes for Baylor at the beginning of the season. My expectations have already been exceeded. Looking at this UVA squad, though, because we shouldn't rule them out, I'm not making a official pick as well because I just am going to truly enjoy this game. This is a game that I'm going to turn my phone off and just watch it and enjoy it and every single second of it. But we thought Virginia was going to be this team that relies on a lot of their seniors, a lot of their returning players, and they have for the most part. Ahmad Franklin has done a great job leading the team. But Ryan Dunn, the freshman guard out of Freeport, New York, has been fantastic for them. That gives you a lot of hope for this Virginia squad that, okay, last year can be a learning point. It's not the standard for the Cavaliers, but moving into the next seasons moving forward, getting him being with this senior leadership, that's very exciting. So not only am I excited for Virginia this year, I think they really have a good chance in the ACC, even though we're talking about Duke and UNC in the top 10, top 5, probably for the entire season. I really like Virginia's chances throughout the year in the ACC and when we get to the tournament. This is a tournament team. This is not an NIT team this year. We are going to see that Virginia in the tournament this year.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so this game is going to be on Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. Virginia taking on Baylor should be a fantastic outing. It's in the main event. It should be a really good one. Make sure you tune in. And if you are going to tune in, if you're checking out this one before the game starts, give us a prediction in the comments below what you think the score will be. And if you're checking out this video maybe at halftime or after the game, let us know your thoughts. What do you think about this game? Was it as good as we think that it's going to be? That's something that, were we right? Did we hit it on the head or were we completely shocked? We've seen that a time or two before. So definitely check that out and hit us up in the comments below.